Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. We're going to start this video with an Axel update. We're outside and I want to show you Axel. He's so sweet. He has a pretty little face. He's been with us 3 weeks. He's a quick learner. He's falling in line. He knows his place with the other 2 dogs. And then he has a side that reminds us a lot of Archie.
Yeah.
But he loves to eat. He loves going out the trails. He loves carrying sticks. He can hear those birds. And he's very aware of his surroundings. Just all around a perfect little dog.
Yeah.
Well, I say little, he's growing so fast, but look at his sweet little face.
And Archie and him are becoming fast friends. Archie wasn't short first, but every day Archie's starting to realize, hey, this kid's all right.
Yeah, and Archie will get a toy and go over to him and like bend down to be like, come on, grab the other end. And then they just run around. It's kind of nice because they do like so many laps and then he's exhausted, so he takes a nap.
They just walked down to the wood yard. I was down there working, and that's like,
oh my,
that's like a 5-mile hike for him.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, he's doing well. We're really happy with him, and he's just the perfect addition to our family.
On a perfect fall day.
Makes me happy. It is so beautiful.
I wish it would stay like this. But,
we were taking the dogs out last night and then coming in the trail, I saw a deer. And I'm like, Mike, there's a deer. And the way it was positioned, you could see this ginormous body, but it was right out there. You just couldn't see its head and it froze. It didn't move for how many?
Oh, I had time to go in and get the binoculars, and it was right at dark. You could barely see it. And then when he turned and ran, it was a nice buck. Yeah. Actually, the nicest one I've seen all year, but it was literally 50 yards behind the house there, maybe
right there.
60, 70 yards tops.
But he was running this direction in the trail, like he lived here, you know?
Yeah.
So, but there must have been some women around, I guess.
So today's video is going to be kind of all over the place. I just want to warn you right now. First thing I wanted to do was show you some beautiful fall colors, which we already took care of that, because I know a lot of people in this country, and the world for that matter, live in areas where they don't experience this. And it is just absolutely beautiful this time of year. I mean, it's just perfect.
A lot of golden, reds, yellow leaves, just blended together. It looks beautiful.
We've been to a lot of beautiful places in the U.S., but right here, right now in the Northeast is hard to beat. It won't last long because after this comes brown and gray and snow for 6 months, but we're enjoying it while we can because it's really, really nice right now.
That's right.
So we got the leaves out of the way. We're also going to introduce you to Dean Kraut. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We're going to take a look at some fire pits. People are always asking about our fire pits.
They are, and it's always a good time to have a fire. I love to have a fire, just to sit by it, cook over it.
Yeah, a steak over a fire, nothing like it.
Yeah.
Burgers, we do the foil dinners, we do all that kind of stuff. Also, before we get started, I wanted to mention, as a reminder, this coming Thursday, Melissa and I will be in, I can never say it right, Louisville, Kentucky, at the Equipment Expo at the Steel booth. We'll be there at 10 a.m. this coming Thursday, the 20th.
Thursday at 10.
At least till 2 or 3 o'clock, because we fly home that night as well. So if you're planning on coming, let us know in the comments so we get an idea how many people are going to be there. And also, I just knocked you there, Melissa. You want to show them this calendar?
Hey, we have a calendar. Outdoors with the Morgans has a calendar. You're going to love it. And I'm not going to show it to you because you
show
need
them just
to order.
a few pictures.
Okay.
Just scroll through it real quick. Basically, it's pictures. She dropped it. You won't get that one. You'll get an undamaged one. Basically, it's pictures of everything throughout the year and some stuff from last winter. But we're calendar people, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I'm a huge calendar person.
I've got the iPhone. You can do everything you want on this iPhone. We like looking at a calendar each morning on the wall.
Yeah.
And crossing days off, just old school. But a lot of people have asked for calendars, so there'll be a link in the description for that. What else are we going to get into here today? We mentioned Louisville, and calendars, fire
mini
pits.
cabin, you're getting ready to do hunting.
Oh yeah, I cleaned out the mini cabin there just a little bit ago. Evicted all the mice and the chipmunks out of there. You mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, I saw a real nice buck right out the trail yesterday.
It's the season.
It is. They're chasing right now. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Let's take a look at a couple different fire pits and we'll go from there. All right, so here are the two fire pits we're going to take a look at. This one right here is the one everybody keeps asking about. I bought this at Bass Pro Shops. I don't have a link for it or anything like that. I'm sure you can find it on their website, but it's a redhead. That's the cooktop right there. So far, been pretty pleased with it. This one here is a solo stove. We've had this for a couple years now. We don't use it all that often, but a few weeks ago, we had a birthday party for grandson Ty up here, and it was cold, and so we had two fires going. And we got this solo stove out, and I thought, you know what? It really does make a pretty nice fire. So we're going to compare the two here this afternoon. All right, we're going to throw in a little piece of red oak maple. Take a nice handful of fire starter, drop it right there in the middle. And by the way, the fire starter will be available again probably in a week. Maybe 2 weeks tops. I picked up a bunch from Dean yesterday when I met him. You'll meet Dean here in just a minute. And then we've been making some as well. So it will be available here in just a couple weeks. I'll just leave that go for about 5 minutes and we'll have a fire. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. We've got a nice fire going in the redhead fire pit. Now we're going to light one in the solo stove. This model right here is called the Bonfire, which in my opinion is a little bit of a stretch because it's only about 19.5 inches across. They do make a Yukon. Obviously it's going to cost more, but it's about 27 inches across. Now our firewood, you know, it's 16 inches, give or take. That's pretty tight right there. We'll just drop a little fire starter right on it there. Light it up. Kind of gotta with the fire starter, you want to leave a little bit of an air gap. It's kind of tough in the smaller stove, but it'll get going just fine. All right, we'll leave that one go for a bit. All right, we got both fires going. Now, you know, the solo stove, they call it a smokeless fire pit. It will be once it gets cooking. Right now, you know, it's kind of just getting started. You'll see a little bit of smoke. Same with the redhead. But, you know, if you use dry firewood, the smoke is very minimal. When you see that stuff billowing from a fire, they're using wet, you know, green wood. If you've got good dry hardwoods, you don't get much smoke anyway. Now this solo stove, once this burns down a little bit, you get some more hot coals built up in the bottom, throw a few more pieces on, it really makes a nice flame, and it will be pretty much smokeless. But it takes a while to get to that point. You know, don't think you're gonna have one of these and just fire it up and you're gonna have this beautiful fire in 10 or 15 minutes. It's gonna take a little bit of time. So while the solo stove gets heated up, I wanna show you some video and introduce you to Dean Kraut. I met Dean yesterday morning. I left the house about 5:30. I live in Western Pennsylvania. Dean lives in Eastern PA, and we met in the middle, and I picked up a couple hundred bags of fire starter from him. We'll be putting them on the website probably in the next week or two, and we'll be making more here on our end as well. That first time that we showed it, we sold about 800 bags. It was pretty overwhelming. So between the two of us, we're gonna do what we can. And I'm also gonna give you an email for Dean if you're interested in buying it wholesale. You know, if you live in the eastern part of Pennsylvania, there's no sense in getting his product out here and then sending it back to Eastern PA. So I'll put his email at the end of the interview. And he doesn't really want to get involved in shipping small quantities or anything like that. It is kind of a pain in the neck, but wholesale, eastern part of PA, you'll be able to get it right from Dean if you're interested in that. You know, maybe you have a store or a campground, or you sell firewood or something like that. You can just deal with him on that end. But anyway, Dean is a great guy, and like I said, we'll be offering fire starter again in a week or two. That first day, I couldn't believe it. We put that video up, and I thought we'd sell 50, 75 bags, and it was over 800 bags in like 16 or 17 hours. And we spent the entire week packaging and shipping fire starter. I thought we had a pretty good system, and Dean thought he had a pretty good system on his end. We both do, but we were both kind of overwhelmed and taken aback a little bit, but we'll figure it out and it'll all work out. It's a great product though. But anyway, let me introduce you to Dean. Dean, we met at Messick's, right?
That's right.
First time we met, and you live over that way, don't you?
That's right, and I got Messick's flyer in the mail, so I thought, oh, I'm going to meet up with you just for the fun of it. So
and when Dean was there, he gave me a bag of his fire starter that you've been making for what? How many years?
Like 30 years or more, off and on. So
yeah, and it's a great product. And by the way, the fire starter, we were talking, it's probably going to be available maybe every month or every other month or once a quarter or something like that. But Dean and I just met up this morning, and I'm bringing more home with me today. We'll put more on the website. But tell me, like, so you've been making that for about 30 years, right?
Yeah, off and on. When I started my own business like 16 years ago, and I wasn't doing much in my shop, but now I'm making some Adirondack chairs, and I didn't feel like throwing the shavings away, so I thought I'm going to start making this stuff again. So
yeah,
that's kind of where it's going now. So.
And your story is you started construction, right?
That's right.
Heavy highway construction?
I worked for a road construction company for 20 years, and I went in there one time in March when it was time to go back after being laid off, and I said, you know what I do a lot? I like to do some of the other guys' work. I thought, you can pay me more, and they wouldn't, so I said, I'll see you.
Really?
So then I started my own thing, so that's where I'm at now.
You've got a Woodmizer sawmill.
That's right. I'm on my second mill. I got an LT40 Super now. It's an older machine, but it didn't have any hours on when I got it, so I enjoy running that.
And then you do firewood as well?
That's right. Firewood, and then I've started doing stuff in my shop, and I have a little shop at my cabin where when I get bored I make these chairs. So
yeah, do you have a picture of the chairs you can send me?
I do.
Send me one of those pictures. They're beautiful chairs. I saw them the last time we met.
I started numbering them so I don't lose track of how many I made. I'm up to like 69
really
so far. So
yeah, they're really nice. Yeah, they're the nicest Adirondacks that I've seen.
Yeah, I go to a local sawmill and tree guys bring cedar logs in, and that's what I use to make them.
I gotcha. Yeah.
They're all cedar ones I make. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically, I worked construction for 25 years. I was a blaster mostly, and then I just left the oil and gas industry about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Got a Woodmizer, do firewood, you know what I mean? But
they say when you're a sawyer that it's like Christmas every day. When you open a log up, you just never know what's in it. So
what do you saw mostly out there?
I kind of look for different stuff like curly maple or something that's wormy, or anything that looks different. I picked up some pecan lately. Oh, it's probably been a year. So I was watching this tree for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I go by one day and they're taking it down. I knew something was up with it because it's all bumpy on the outside.
Right.
And it turned out to be some pretty crazy looking stuff.
That's like that bird's eye stuff, right?
Yeah,
when it's those little bumps on it?
It's like the craziest stuff I've ever seen.
Do you have hard maple out there or just soft?
We do have some, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mostly silver maple, soft maple is what I saw. I look for ones that are wormy because you can look at when it's cut, see how wormy it is.
Yeah.
However many streaks is around it.
Right.
And then if it has a few, it doesn't give the character like it does with a bunch of the streaks.
Right.
So yeah, I'm always looking for something different.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm probably past 500,000 board feet I sawed so far.
That's impressive, yeah.
I've been sawing for like 22 years, basically.
Okay.
I got involved in sawing. I used to get a guy out, and I thought someday I'm going to buy one of these things. And I didn't know what it's going to turn into, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is enjoyable. Do you have anyone kiln dry your stuff? You sell green or?
I don't kiln dry myself, and it's really hard to find somebody. I often thought I should get into that, but it's just something else to do.
I know.
When you're busy, you don't, but it's hard to find people that dry around our area. They're all full, and it's.
Yeah.
But if I have something I want to get dried, I find somebody.
I always, when I talk to guys about sawmills that are wanting to buy one, I've only been doing it a couple years, but they always want, the biggest, the fastest. But my thing is the real work comes in once it comes off the mill. You know what I mean? The sawing is the easy part.
Right. And then when you are sawing, right now I have a bunch of slab wood. I'm going to be renting a big chipper and running a bunch of that through. I'm running out of room there to put my slab wood. People don't realize when you're sawing, you got sawdust to get rid of and slab wood. If it's hardwood, you can use it for firewood, but softwood, nobody wants it. And so I'm just going to run it through a big chipper and get rid of that pile. I
always hear about it because I put my pine slabs right to the fire pit, and everyone, I always hear about it. But I
did start any little stuff. I have a pile there I accumulate, and then I'll get a fire going every now and then. It's just, you don't want to, even if it's hardwood, nobody wants that little stuff in there. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We're both about 2 hours from home. We kind of met in the middle. I'm going to load up Dean's fire starter here. And like I said, it'll come available in the next couple weeks. We'll put it, on the website and stuff. And then we may also, nothing definite yet, but we may also be able to pick it up from you in the future.
Right.
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, depending on what we got to do,
we'll just keep them posted and see. You don't want to get into shipping though, do you?
Not really. I got enough going on, but so we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Try to keep up with it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming out here today, Dean, and
I'm glad I met you. You never know what happens with this.
We meet people all the time, and it's crazy.
Yeah. So hey, it's good to talk to you.
Thanks, Dean. All right, it's been about a half hour or so. I put another piece on the redhead fire pit and another on the solo stove. We need to head down below to the wood yard, take care of a couple things. We'll come back up and check on them again. All right, we're down here at the wood yard, and I need to move Blueford out of the way. Plus, I need to run it for a bit. I haven't used the truck now for probably a month and a half, 2 months, and it is deader than dead. And hopefully, I'm going to show you something pretty cool. Okay, key. It had a little bit in it, not much. Now check this out. Check out this thing. Noco Boost HD. Now we're running the camera the entire time, right? Trying to do this with one hand. Look all the bigger that is. This is the GB70. Now keep in mind, this is a 3208 cat in this truck. We're going to turn it on. Let it sit for a minute. It's doing its thing. Look at all the bigger that is. That's incredible. I left this run for a while. I need to run Old Blueford more. We will be here in the near future. But this thing right here is incredible. Like I said, that is a 3208 cat that I just started with this little jump starter. It's got a light on it, does all kind of stuff, flashes and things. But just the size of it, it's incredible how small it is, yet how well it works. And I just keep it plugged in my pickup, plug it right into the 12 volt, charges it up. I'll read the description of it, so I at least sound like I know what I'm talking about. According to the description of this on Amazon, Noco Boost HD GB70, 2000 amp, 12 volt, ultra safe lithium jump starter box. Car battery, booster pack, portable power bank, charger, and jumper cables for up to 8-liter gasoline or 6-liter diesel engines. And you can include 3208 cats. So on this end here, you've got this is where you charge it right here. It comes with a little cable, or like I said, you can plug it into the 12 volt. And then it also has a USB and a 12 volt out, so you can charge your phone and stuff with this as well. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the description. Like I said, it's not cheap, but 200 bucks, this could be a lifesaver right here. Pretty nice. I wonder if all those Will It Start YouTube channels use these. If they don't, they should. And I'll be honest, I probably shouldn't say this, but when I watch those videos, I always just kind of scroll to the end and see if it started. Hunter hasn't been in a video lately. He just wanted to tell everyone hi. But something else I wanted to show you. I told you it'd be all over the place in this video. This blower here, BGA 86. This is what I was using at the beginning of this video. And this thing here is a pint-sized powerhouse. And we use this for cleaning off like all the concrete areas, mostly the deck. Once all these leaves hit the ground, you break out that big 800 and it takes care of it pretty quick. But for most things, drying off vehicles, whatever, this is nice, really nice. So the Solo stove, we're about an hour into this, and it's really cooking right now. I mean, we've got some real nice hot coals right there. Like I said, it's not real big. I'll report back at the end of the video. The chickens really like the leaves. They like to scratch. So that's the story on the 2 fire pits there. Redhead, Solo stove. We will use the Redhead to cook on, but I do think we'll use this Solo stove more than we have been. Puts off a lot of heat, and it does make a nice fire. Well, I told you at the beginning this video was going to be all over the place, and it sure was. But to kind of recap what we talked about today, this coming Thursday, Louisville, Kentucky, Melissa and I will be at the steel booth at the Equip Expo from 10 a.m. till at least 2 or 3 in the afternoon this Thursday. Calendars, link in the description. That jump starter, that thing is awesome. I'll put a link down there as well. Fire starter, that'll be coming up in the next week or 2. We've got some really good feedback on that, by the way. My only concern with the fire starter, you know, I kept saying in that first video, if your wood is dry, it will go. You won't have any problem at all. I haven't had one issue in probably 50 fires that I started using the fire starter because I use dry firewood. I'm sure there'll be someone out there that has like green red oak or something. You know, you could put 5 gallons of diesel fuel on it, it's not going to go. But if your firewood is dry, that fire starter is going to work like a dream. And Dean and I will do what we can to get more out there. And also Dean's email address, I'll put it right here. That is for wholesale orders in Eastern PA. You can email them, and once he gets making more, I'm sure he'll be happy to take care of you on that. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I think that's about it. We're gonna have a busy couple weeks coming up, and winter's coming. We appreciate y'all being here, and I'll catch you on the next one.